It was so well taken care of by its previous owners that it was super easy. Everything was just so far, it's been super easy. Everything has gone just like it should. Guys, and welcome to today's video. Today's going to be an update video. I want to let you know where we're at with all the projects, what's new, what's finished, what's been delayed, everything that's going on. Alright, so let's get into this. I have a lot to share today. Alright, so here we go. Here's the 89 and here's the 87. I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on with both of them. I did we left off where I did the brakes. I powder coated the calipers, and when I went to bleed the system, I had a really hard time with bleeding. So here's, if you see, the ABS system is pulled out of the car. I'm going to be working on that. Actually, that's going to be probably the current project, or the next thing I work on is the ABS. I need to get this. This is all this needs at this point. I need to get that going. As far as the 87, you can see, if you didn't notice, there's a whole pile of parts down here. So we have stuff for the AC unit, the power steering, the pulley delete systems in there. I actually have a second pulley delete system here. They're identical ones. I was doing a comparison. Yeah, guys, I never shared this, but 3 years ago when I put in that pulley delete system, it hasn't been perfect. I've had a lot of problems with squeaking and finding the right belt size. Belts are expensive. Well, we'll get into that later. So right now, here's where we're at with the 87. So the power steering, the rack and pinion has been pulled out of the car. So I just put a Z51 rack and pinion in it last fall, put it away for storage. Came out this spring, no leaks. Then I started driving the car and it developed a really small leak right around some rivets. It's not repairable. It was under warranty, so they're replacing it. So I got this one out. I shipped it out UPS. I'm hoping to have the replacement in before the holiday weekend, the 4th of July. Since I have extra time off, I'd love to get that going then. So that's where we're at right now. To pull the rack and pinion, I did not video that. I needed to get it done so I could get it to UPS before the end of the day. But the best thing to do is remove everything that you can. So it was really easy to remove the alternator. I removed the power steering pump. You have to break into that system anyways to drain it. I removed everything involved with the power steering, and then I removed my AC canister. Now, just so you know, guys, if you have a functional AC, I would not touch the AC unit. Oh, I also removed my fan. So it's all easy stuff. But that's where we're at with this. So this is probably going to be down for maybe up to 2 weeks. So in the meantime, I'm going to tackle an issue that I've had, a minor issue with what I believe is the fuel pressure regulator. So that's, I'm on the wrong side of the car, but that's right down in here. You just have to take the plenum off. And while I have the plenum off to remove the or to replace the fuel pressure regulator, I'm gonna clean the throttle body. This comes off, this unbolts anyway, so I'm gonna clean that. What I'm having, I just have a little bit of sticky gas pedal. I have to push it a little harder than I want to get it out of idle. So I'm gonna just clean the throttle body, and I'm going to replace the fuel pressure regulator, and then while I'm at it, I'm going to just replace a bunch of really bad vacuum lines. And I replaced this one, it's a little too big, so I'm gonna get all the right size. I'm just gonna replace all the vacuum lines in the car. So yeah guys, there's a lot going on right now with the 87. The rack and pinion was totally unexpected. I was so bummed out because the car was ready. I got all the wheels on. Oh, where I left off, I got, you remember I put the rear wheels on. Well, I had the front wheels on now. They did require a spacer. So there's my 20 millimeter spacer, Adaptec. I only needed a 1/2 inch, but they don't make them that small for bolt-on spacers, and the lug nuts, factory lug nuts, are just too short. The project that I've been talking about with the speakers, yeah, that keeps getting pushed back. That is just not important. I do have 6x9 screwed into the doors. I have speakers in the car. Everything is working. I just want to fabricate my own door panels to accommodate a very clean install of the 6x9s. We'll get there eventually. The other thing I've been doing is weather stripping. So I've already commented in previous videos. So here you can see now what I've done here is I installed windlasses on the 89. I'm working on doing the door weather stripping next. You can see it's a little wore out, not bad, but I am going to replace the door weather stripping on here, and then also I will be replacing the weather stripping on the hatch. Eventually I will get to all of this as well. So as far as weather stripping goes, I have 2 videos for the 87. I have the windlasses on each side and the door weather stripping. The 89 is also going to have the same weather stripping, the windlass and the door. I'm going to have a video for each because they ended up being completely different projects. The 89 is so clean, and it was so well taken care of by its previous owners that it was super easy. Everything was just, so far, it's been super easy. Everything has gone just like it should. The 87 has been neglected. It was a little harder than I thought it was going to be, or a little more challenging with rust. This was my weather stripping. This windlass is metal reinforced, and it is completely rusty. There's absolutely no way that I'm just going to go in there with a screwdriver and back 2 screws out. And stripped out screws. So they're going to be 2 different applications. One is going to be a very clean, straightforward weather stripping replacement like you would find in any well-preserved, well-taken care of car. And then I'm going to show the opposite of a car that is a basket case that needs a lot of work, that's been neglected, that's had water damage or leaking water for a very long time. It has rusty screws. So you're going to see both sides and the things and tricks that I had to do to the latter side just to get it to work. So a lot of weather stripping videos coming up. I got all my stuff from the Corvette Rubber Company. Great company out of Michigan. They make their own products. Very popular. They cover all years up through C5s. We'll get more into that later, but I do have 3 videos already filmed. I just need to edit them and get them uploaded. Windlass and door on the 87, and windlass so far on the 89. So I've got some more stuff to show you. We're gonna go inside. It's gonna rain the rest of the weekend, so my projects are going to be probably inside upstairs at my computer for probably the rest of the weekend. So yeah, let's go take a look. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so here's something new. This is something new I just got yesterday. So this is a Snap-on MT2500 scanner. I have a whole bunch of cartridges that came with it, all kinds of adapters. All the stuff in this box is stuff that I am not going to be using since I just have 2 Corvettes. This is all like imports and things like that. But over here is a very nice scanner with all kinds of GM troubleshooting stuff. But then I have a very good add-on, and that's the ABS system. So this is a really good cartridge here. So I will be able to so with that, I will be able to do all my own scanning. It's not just codes. This will scan the engine while it's running, all kinds of different techniques and things to monitor. So this will really give me a good snapshot of what's going on with the engine while it's running. Plus I'll be able to do things like cycle solenoids and things like that. So this is really going to be great. It's really going to open up my my knowledge, or it's really going to open up my ability to work on my car, because so far I haven't done anything with engines. Yeah, I've replaced Opti and I've replaced water pumps, but I don't know anything about what happens inside the engine. So I'm going to learn a lot about that. I'm pretty excited. So stay tuned for more of that. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. So here is the ABS unit. This is your typical Bosch system. I'm going to be taking this apart and seeing what it looks like. I'm expecting to see rust on the inside. The whole reason I tore out the Bosch unit is when I was trying to bleed the brakes, there was a lot of rust in the master cylinders, which I did try to clean out before I started the brake job. It was just too hard to get all the rust out. It just seemed to keep coming back. So I'm going to take that apart. I'm expecting to see a lot of rust inside of the screens. There's little screens in there, and that's what we're going to be cleaning. I'm expecting to see a lot of floating rust in there. I also noticed the front calipers in the 89 when I took them apart. The original equipment J55s, there was rust inside of those too. So I'm expecting this to be my problem. I will video document that. Who knows how it's going to go? But let's go back to all this. So here is a lot of serpentine belts. And this over here, this is the fuel pressure regulator. So the pulley delete system that I bought for my car, ever since I put it in, I've had an annoying little squeak or squeal upon startup. Not just right when it starts up, not like a loose belt type of a thing, or it's part of the drive system. It's squeaking and it goes away after it warms up. My factory belt is this size right here, 6K2257 or the 6088, however you want to look at it. I'm learning a lot about belts. So when I first did this, belts were so expensive, I started out here because I didn't know what size I needed. So I bought a sequence, 74, 75, and 76. Or 874, 875, and 876. The original belt in the Gates, this is the Gates format, by the way. This is a O'Reilly's Master Pro series, but this is a Gates belt. You go to Napa, they sell you the Napa belt. It's a Gates belt. I know that for a fact because I saw the computer screen. So Gates belt's probably going to be 888. I'm going to take a wild guess here. I don't know. So I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about belts. You're going to see I'm putting a cheat sheet together. I'll somehow make this available, but I'm putting a cheat sheet together to break down what all these numbers mean, because there actually is something to learn here. So the inch numbers, which is the top, this would be 88.8, this would be 87.5, this is supposed to be 87.6, 87.5, 87.4, but then down below it is a metric number, and that's called the effective length, and that's more accurate. So for example, In Continental, the 60875 has an effective length of 2238 millimeters, where this one is 2223 millimeters. Well, that's a big difference. So I ordered another belt. I ended up getting an 87.8, which has a